All right. Hello to everybody watching. Thank you for clicking play. This is Volunteer Voices, where we take a few minutes to hear from a community volunteer about about their work as the backbone of volunteers in our community. I'm excited to hear from Jan about her experiences as a Durham Museum volunteer, and maybe one of you watching will join in and give your time too. So, Jan, thank you for joining me. Tell me a little bit about your time as a volunteer at the Durham Museum. What do you do?
Well, happy to be with you. There's so many opportunities at the Durham Museum. There's daily activities as well as special events throughout the year. So I've been focusing my time a little bit of both. On a daily activity, we have lots of different customer engagements and guest experiences. So, as an example, uh, as guests come in, we'll tell them about the building and the exhibits that are on display, either permanent or that travel through, and see their reaction. And there's always stories that they have to tell. So, usually daily activities and then some special events like Christmas at Union Station, New Year's Eve Day with the kids. Halloween is a big one. So, various events like that.
Is there a favorite memory that stands out to you from your time volunteering?
There's one that does come to mind. Every Wednesday, there's a special event. What is it Wednesday? And we bring up an article from the artifacts from the basement of history. And there's one item, it's an electric toaster, one of the first, and it happens to swing open. So you put a piece of toast on each side, and then it swings so that you can toast the other side. And hearing the young kids, look at it and try to guess what it is, or some of the older gentlemen and ladies explaining how they had one when they were a kid, or remember their grandparents. And it's just fun hearing the stories that guests share, and it just makes for some special moments.
Well, and that's the connection to history that you're helping to facilitate as a volunteer.
Yes, yeah.
Well, what keeps you coming back for more volunteer shifts at the Durham?
Well, I think it's exactly what you stated, Katie. It's that sense of community. There's the building itself is gorgeous, and all of the other volunteers throughout their walks of life. It's fun and rewarding to talk to different people as they come through, share their story. They had an aunt that they picked up at the train station, or they took their son, who was in the service, and neat stories like that. And just the beautiful Art Deco always shares a moment from any of our guests that come walking through. So it's the experience. It really is neat being part of this community.
Well, thank you for continuing to be a part of it. What would you say to others who are thinking about giving some of their time to volunteer at the Durham?
You can spend as much or as little time as you have to share. So you don't need to be concerned about, I'm not giving enough of my time. Any little bit that fits your skill set, whether it's with the children that come through on their education tours, or it's knowing a bit of history with the trains, or just being part of the background and helping with special events. There's any type of work or any type of service is appreciated.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for your time volunteering as a Durham Museum volunteer. Volunteerism is what makes Omaha go around. So thank you for being a part of that backbone of our community. Let's see if I can figure out how to show people really quickly how to become a volunteer. If you go to shareomaha.org, you can take a look at the background information of volunteer experience volunteers, visitor experience volunteers at the Durham Museum. Click I'm interested. It's a very short form here to give your information. And soon you will hear back from the Durham Museum and get connected to talk a little further. So Jan, thank you for joining us today for Volunteer Voices. We're grateful to have you as a member of our community.
Well, thank you.